Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of the Interesting Point of View challenge. So I hope you were able to listen to day 1 and day 2. If you haven't, go back and have a listen to those videos because they tie into what we're going to talk about today. So yesterday I talked about having a point of view isn't wrong. Like, it's not wrong. You can have points of views, but what you want to look at is, are they fixed points of views? So you can have points of views, but like, you don't have to fight for the rightness of your point of view, and you also don't have to defend your point of view. So it's like, what if you had allowance for points of views you had? If you have allowance for points of views, then you also have allowance for them changing. So you might want to have a look at, like, what am I defending? What points of views am I really defending and am I really charged about? Because some of us, like I spoke about yesterday on the video, like some people are really charged about politics, and then some of us really don't have a charge on it at all, but we might have a point of view. We might have a point of view, but we might not really be invested in it or try to defend it. Like, if you don't have a charge on a point of view, you usually then can give it up very quickly or change it or be willing to look at other possibilities. So the example like I gave of the politics was where people have like a point of view, like one side is right and one side is wrong, and when you don't have a point of view, you're willing to look at all sides, and you're actually also willing to look beyond that. But there's some things where when we are very charged about them, we're constantly defending that. So for some of us it's family, for some of us it's relationship. But what I want to look at today is how many points of views that you do have a charge around, that you are really defending or you're fighting for and against, are actually not your points of views. So a lot of the things that we are intensely charged about or intensely fighting for or are very intense in our worlds are actually not ours at all to begin with, but we've made them ours, and then we have to intensely create them as ours to validate that they are ours. So have a look at the areas where you do have a lot of charge and ask, like, is this even mine? So I'll give you an example, and this is like a little example. You all have like husbands, partners, kids, whatever. So my partner comes home last night and he's not feeling great. You know, his hip is bothering him. He's got all this stuff going on. And so I start to go into like, well, why won't he just go get himself, like in my head now, why won't he just go get his hip fixed? And if I was like that, I'd be going to yoga all the time and I'd be just fixing. So I started going into all these judgments, right? And points of views. So I stopped and I was like, okay, and it started to get kind of intense in my world as well. Like, it got really intense. And I stopped and I was like, okay, interesting point of view. I have the point of view that he has this point of view. Because he comes in, he has these points of views about him, and then all of a sudden, I suddenly have the points of views, I have points of views that he has points of views. Right? Twisted. So I sat with it, and I was like, okay, interesting point of view. I have the point of view that he has this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that he shouldn't have this point of view. So I was trying to resist the points of views he had. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that he should have a different point of view. Interesting point of view. He has the point of view that he has this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I don't want him to have this point of view. And I started to go down through the layers. And then what I got to was like, oh, none of this is mine. I actually don't have a point of view about his points of views. I also don't have a point of view that he has a point of view, but he has a point of view. He has judgments of himself right now, and he's in resistance to himself, and I am just dynamically now making that mine. So how much of the alignment and agreement and the resistance and reaction that you have in your world isn't actually yours? And this is the whole purpose. So everything that is, so everything that you have been defending with all your fight, and everywhere you've been aligning, agreeing, and resisting, reacting to all the points of views that are not yours and trying to prove to yourself they are, can we now destroy them and create them, please? Oh, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on shirts, points me eyes. So this is the whole purpose of doing and really practicing this tool of interesting point of view. And it might seem a bit repetitive, and it might seem like it's not getting you anywhere, but it actually is. Because when you can actually be present with the energy and really sit with it and be like, okay, interesting point of view, and really be present with the points of views that are there. Like, interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I don't want him to be like this. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that he should be different. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that he could do something to fix this and he's not. And like, I started to go through all the layers, and it's like so amazing, because it's like, wow, these are not my points of views. I'm just mimicking, and I'm also like resisting whatever's going on in his world. I'm reacting to his reaction. There's a whole conversation going on at the moment in Access about reacting and our reactions to other people's reactions. So when you get to that space of, wow, allowance, that actually shows you, that's where, like, when you finally get to allowance for what's there, allowance for the energy that's coming up, allowance for the judgments, allowance for the resistance, you actually get, wow, it's not my resistance. It's not even my judgment. It's not even my point of view. So, how many points of views have you been resisting and reacting to and defending and fighting for and against that are actually not your points of views? And if you're willing to actually really play with interesting point of view for all the things you find yourself reacting to or resisting, how much freedom would you actually get? And how much space would you get? And so because I did that exercise last night with interesting point of view, it also puts me back in my reality. So then I'm like, oh, that's his reality. He's got this stuff going on. That's not my reality. And then I'm back in my reality. Okay, what's my reality? Peace, joy, and glory. And then today, like, he still had stuff going on in his world, but it was so much easier for me today to just stay in my world, in my reality, keep choosing what lights me up and not going to his reality, because I had sat with it and gone through the process of interesting point of view, and I'd gotten to the awareness of, oh my God, this isn't mine. I actually don't have a point of view about what he's choosing. He has a point of view about what he's choosing. So how many points of views do you have about what other people choose that aren't your points of views? They're the judgments that you pick up from what they're reacting to in their world. Everything that is signs against it, can we destroy and pray that, please? Right round, good bad, pop pock, only shorts, boys and nights. So what would it be like to totally have your back? To never give you up in the face of other people's reactions, to never make other people's reactions yours, and to always actually get to that space of, okay, let me be present here with what's coming up. Let me look at this. Is this really my point of view? Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And actually start to go down through the layers to get to that place of allowance. Allowance for what is will actually show you what's the truth there, what's actually going on there. And then you get to choose. Then you get to choose whether you want to stay with that person or whether you want to take off for the day. Like me, I'm at the beach, you know. Like, you get to choose. You don't have to be in resistance and reaction to what other people are choosing. And this is what, like, most of this reality is fed on, resisting, reacting to what other people are choosing, rather than actually choosing the reality that works for you. Interesting point of view shows you your reality. It shows you what works for you. And I'm going to finish with this. One of my favorite Gary Douglas questions is, what is my reality and where can I find it? Today, this is my reality. Being at the beach, being by the ocean, this is my reality. And when you're in that resistance and reaction, alignment and agreement, and when you're in that point, you know, the judgments of the points of views, you're actually not in your reality. You're in someone else's reality. Okay, guys. If you have any questions from today's video, please post them in the chat, or from any of the videos. Let me know what else you'd like to hear about, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.